All right, good morning slash almost afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so happy to have you here today for our Lunch and Learn. I'm happy to be joined by two great people from SMART. But before we get started, I just want to share a couple of housekeeping tips that we share each time. So, of course, don't forget that this is live and being recorded on YouTube. It will be available on our channel after we're done. Down there at the bottom, you'll see our channel. There's a subscribe button there, so please feel free to subscribe to our channel and click the bell so you know when we're going to go live. And that will also have all of the videos that we've done so far over the past month. There's a whole library of things there, of things that you can learn along with. We've also started creating some playlists, so there's a SMART playlist that this video will be added to. And all of this is also being posted on our website, which is edtechtraining.palmbeachschools.org. And you can just get to all the resources by clicking live stream resources in the top right and choosing your topic. So today's topic will be all the way at the bottom under Smart Learning Suite Online, SLSO. And you'll see the videos, the slide decks, and any other resources that SMART has for us to make this remote learning a little bit easier and more interactive and engaging for our students. One of the other things I want to share is please don't forget to ask questions or share ideas in the chat box over on the right over there. And if you don't see the chat box, it may be in the diagonal down over there. However, I'm going to do that, right? If you have your video a little bit bigger, it actually goes underneath and to the right. So we really encourage you to type in that chat box and share with us. We have our fun little minions who have little wrenches next to their name. And I know there's a lot of smart people as well in the chat to answer your questions as well. So today our friends are actually going to be sharing how you can do student-paced lessons with Smart Learning Suite Online in Google Classroom. So all this is going to be about self-paced lessons that you can just build, and then your students will then be able to do at any time of the day or night if they want. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my two friends, Hillary and Kaitlyn, and I will let them take it away. So take it away, ladies.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kaitlyn Brugnoni, and I'm a SMART training specialist for Palm Beach County. I predominantly work with the schools in the northern area, so from Jupiter to about Riviera Beach, and I also have some schools out west in Wellington, Royal Palm, and Belle Glade. I brought with me today a friend, Hillary.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hillary Matevia. I'm also a SMART training specialist, and I have the area just below Kaitlyn. I cover the central area of West Palm, Royal Palm, and Wellington.
And we're here today to bring you a presentation on how you can create a student-led lesson in our Smart Learning Suite Online, and then posting it up to your Google Classroom. So before we get started, we want to mention previous webinars that have happened. The last one was with Akia, and she went through conducting live lessons with Smart Learning Suite and Google Meet. So running a live lesson via the Smart Learning Suite Online while in a Google Meet. So I believe there's a link in the chat. You can go ahead and check it out after this or whenever you have some free time. And you can also go and check out some of the other webinars that we've done. So for our objective today, it is to create a student-led lesson using the Smart Learning Suite Online and Google Classroom. To achieve our objective, we are going to create a lesson using the Smart Learning Suite Online. We nickname it SLSO. In that lesson, I'm going to show you how you can add a video, add a handout, and an activity. We will then jump over to Google Classroom and assign the student-led lesson. And I will give you a view of the lesson from a student perspective. And then I'll go back into Google Classroom as the teacher and show you how you could provide feedback within that lesson. So the first thing we got to do is access the Smart Learning Suite Online. And the way that we do that is through our Google Drive. We go to our Drive, we go to New, More, Smart Learning Suite, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and design and assign. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. However you get to it, I know a lot of teachers go through their email, go through your app selector, click on Drive. And when I'm in here, you can see you have your folders. When you first access the Smart Learning Suite online through New, More, Smart Learning Suite, you will notice that your drive will create a new folder for you titled the Smart Learning Suite. This is a good folder to have and to know, because if I were to ever go out into, say, the Smart Exchange, which is an online repository that we have of free teacher resources, when you download them from the Exchange, it'll save it right in your Google Drive in this folder. So I like to point it out. Also, I'm going to click into this folder, and this is how I'm going to access the Smart Learning Suite, because when I create this file, if I'm in this folder, that Smart Learning Suite file will save within this folder. So I'm going to go to New, More, Smart Learning Suite. I'm going to sign in as a teacher, sign in with Google, and click on my credentials. It's a very easy and seamless sign-in process. It's going to chug along to load. And when you log in for the first time, it'll say, let's test drive a lesson experience. We highly recommend that you do get started and watch this your first time, but for now, we're going to skip it. And it takes you to our Choose Your Own Adventure board, or our dashboard. And I'm going to import a resource from my drive. I know that it is in my Smart Learning Suite folder, and I am today going to upload a PDF.
Even though Kaitlyn's importing a PDF, you can use different types of files, such as a Smart Notebook file or other G Suite files, or even a PowerPoint.
Thank you, Hillary. And I like PDFs because anything can be made a PDF. And today, a lot of our textbooks are online. So the way you get some of those worksheets offline is by downloading it as a PDF. So I really love how versatile the Smart Learning Suite online is with different types of docs. So here is my PDF. This was once a lesson that I would run with my students. So now I'm going to kind of smartify it to make this a student-led lesson that I will upload to my Google Classroom. The first thing I want to do is in the lower left-hand corner is the addition button, because I want to add another slide. And I'm going to add a YouTube video. And my lesson today is all about writing a friendly letter. So I'm going to bring in the video, Parts of a Letter Song. The great thing about YouTube within the Smart Learning Suite online is, one, it's a safe search, so nothing inappropriate is going to come up. But two, I can click on the video I want, embed it in my file, and when my students watch the video back, there's no ads and there's no commercials. It just plays the video and ends the video, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to continue on. I want to add another activity. So after my students watch this video, I want to reinforce what they learned. So Hillary, do you have a game-based activity that you think would be a good fit for this video?
All right, there's lots of great games, but for Parts of a Letter, I'm going to recommend the rank order game, so the students can put the order in correctly.
All right, can you go ahead and read me the order?
Yeah, so we'll start with the date, and then they'll have the greeting next, followed by the body, closing, and signature.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. You'll notice that I wrote in text, but to the right, I can also bring in images from my device, and I can have images being in the place of text. Also to the right, it says check answers. So when my students put these in the correct order, it can be done instantly when prompted, or I can have it not check at all. I'm going to have it be done instantly because this is a K2 lesson, so I want them to know right away if it's right or wrong. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next, and we have a couple of different themes that I can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and go with robots. Click on Finish, and here we go. I now have 2 additional slides to this PowerPoint that I have created. I also can name this. just to give me a little bit more clarity as to what the title for this rank order is. I'm going to keep on going through my presentation to see what else I could add. I see I have a worksheet here. So my students would normally, with a pencil, fill in these blanks, but we're digital. So I can actually convert at the bottom of my screen, convert this slide to an activity, and I'm going to convert it to a handout. This allows all of my students to get their own digital worksheet where they'll be able to ink on the screen, or they can embed text boxes as well as images. So this is going to be made a handout so my students can complete it. Again, I can name it if I wish. And I'm going to continue on. I was going to show a video in my class here, so I'm going to add one more video from YouTube because I just love the idea of having a YouTube extension and embedding my videos. Talking about how to mail a letter. And I like this PBS video. Gonna add it. Great. And my last slide is just the assignment that I'm actually gonna put a Google Doc in my Google Classroom for my students to work on. Awesome. So my lesson is all made. I'm gonna go ahead and finish editing in the upper left-hand corner. I can also, if I wanted to, next to finish editing, I can change the title of the file, but I'm gonna leave it as is. Finish editing. All right, so my lesson is created and ready to go. I'm gonna exit out of this screen and I'm gonna go back to my drive. Now the first question you're probably gonna have after creating your lesson is, where did it go? Remember, whatever folder that you selected, New, More, Smart Learning Suite, is where that is going to go. I simply just need to refresh this page and here is my lesson. You can know what a Smart Learning Suite file looks like because of this little blue and purple icon in the lower left-hand corner. So now I need to go to my Google Classroom. I'm going to go to my app selector, go to my Google Classroom, and I'm going to assign classwork and assignment. I'm going to click on Create, Assignment. I'm going to title this How to Write a Friendly Letter. You could have instructions here, so maybe I would tell my students to view and complete the activities within the file, and then complete the Google Doc. All right, so now I need to add everything. I'm going to click on the paperclip for add, and I'm going to click on Google Drive. I'm going to go to my drive, and remember where you created that file, which for me was in the Smart Learning Suite folder, and I'm simply going to click on my Smart Learning Suite file, and I'm going to click add. Please note that to the right, it'll say students can view file. Leave it just like that. Okay, do not change that. You want them to be able to go in and edit, and not edit, but complete the activity. So please just leave it, students can view file. I am also, though, going to create a Google Doc because the end activity was for my students to write their own friendly letter. So I want to get this all set up for them. And I'm going to label this My Letter. Let's kind of underline this. This will be my header. If I wanted to, I could also have some directions here for my students. And when I click up where it says Untitled in the left-hand corner, it will give my header the title for this document. Sweet, I'm happy. Gonna go ahead and exit out. And so for the Google Doc, I do want to change where it says students can view file to make a copy for each student. I can then go over to the right. I can assign points. I can make it ungraded. You can assign it to just certain students. When you're all done, I click Assign. And now my lesson is ready for my student to access. So let's see how a student would access this. I have an incognito window prepared with my students signed into my class. They will go to their classwork. They will click on My Lesson and click on View Assignment. Let me refresh. Okay, awesome. So here I have writing a letter. They click on the Smart Learning Suite file. They will then click on Open with Smart Learning Suite. They're going to sign in as a student, sign in with Google, click on their district credentials, and it'll automatically bring them into My Lesson. So as this is loading, some of the great uses for this is not all the time can we meet with our students or give them that extra practice. Being able to load this up onto Google Classroom and let them do it at their own pace is a pretty cool thing, especially in this digital learning era that we got going on. So here is my lesson. I'm going to click through with the lower left-hand corner, the activity. I'm going to show you how my video will play. You don't need to hear it, but just showing that my video will play for my student. When my student's done watching the video, they will then complete that rank order activity that Hillary and I created. The idea is to power up our robot. If I put something in the wrong area, remember it spits it back out because I wanted it to be checked right away. So my student is able to complete this. This is just supposed to be a reinforcer activity from the video. My student can continue on to that digital worksheet. Hillary, what are some of the things that you like best about using handouts?
So my favorite thing about handouts is that it gives so much student agency. You can see on the left-hand toolbar, there's all of these different options for the students. If we were doing this in a classroom, typically the only supplies they have is a paper and a pencil, but on the left, they can write with the pencil, they can insert an image or type, and it just gives them a little bit more flexibility and creativity.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and you can see that my mouse skills are on point, right? So this might not be the best thing unless I had a touchscreen device. Writing with ink would be amazing. So with a tablet, iPad, Chromebook, right? My students can also come in here and click on that capital A and bring in a text box because writing with my mouse just was a little difficult. I can change the font size, the font, the color, and they can continue to fill in this worksheet. They can then use their mouse to drag this on the line. And when my student is done, they simply just click on Done in the right-hand corner. My student can continue to go through the file. They have one more video to watch. And then that last page was that Google Doc that they had to go in and write. When my student's all done, they simply just click out of the Smart Learning Suite. And then they're back in my Google Classroom. They do have that Google Doc they need to click into to complete. All right, so and when they're all done, they have the turn in button in the right-hand corner. So now my student's turning in all their work, and she is saying that she's done. All right, so let's go back to the teacher. So as a teacher, I'm going to refresh my page, and I'm going to go into my assignment that I assigned for my students, and I'm going to see that one person has turned it in. Great. I'm going to go into View Assignment. I can click into Laura's document, and I can grade her Google Doc. If I go back to instructions though, and I click on the file, open this file back with the Smart Learning Suite. It's gonna chug along to load for me. And I'm gonna show you how I can go back to that handout and see Laura's work on the screen. I'm going to click on these double boxes where the 1 is to get to my handout a little faster. I'm going to click on student progress. And I see Laura has completed this assignment. I simply, as a teacher, have to click in and I can see what she did. I can also see that she's not done. So as a teacher, maybe I would circle what she needs to complete. I can make a note that says, please edit and complete. And Laura can go back into the assignment and complete her worksheet. So let's talk about what we just did. We designed and we assigned. So to start, we went to the Smart Learning Suite Online. Remember, you go to your Drive, you go to New, More, Smart Learning Suite. We then created a lesson using existing content. I chose a PDF. After we created our lesson, we then went to our Google Classroom and I uploaded the SLS file. And then my students completed the file on their own time. We have a few resources. I know some of our wrenches were dropping resources during our presentation. We also have this file available to you, and these are links to every single thing that I did. We also have a video of how to add an SLS lesson to Google Classroom, and we also have a video for how your students can log in to that SLS file that you can share on your stream. And don't forget, if you create a lesson and you care to share, please share via our Google Plus community, PVCSD Smart Ideas, and also Twitter at PVCSD, at SmartPLN, and don't forget your hashtag SmartChampion. Looking forward to hearing some questions now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. That was a great overview, really quick and concise, and great that the people watching can also see the teacher view as well. I did put a post out there if there are any additional questions. So if those come in, I'll bring those up in just a minute. And while we're waiting for some questions, actually the next question is, could we have created a PowerPoint presentation and uploaded to Google Classroom? Obviously, the answer is yes, you can do that, right? What is the advantages to using SLSO instead?
So the advantages are with a PowerPoint, that's a static presentation. So the students are simply just viewing the presentation. By putting that PDF, that PowerPoint, any Google Suite file in SLSO, I was able to add a game, add a video, add a digital worksheet that my students can go in and edit and write on. So that is the difference between using a static presentation file and using SLSO, is that it's way more interactive with your students.
And the great thing about using a PowerPoint is that you can upload it into SLSO. So if you've already got something that you've created and made and you want to keep using it, but maybe just enhance it from that static content to be more interactive, using the Choose Your Own Adventure page, you are able to upload things from your device. It doesn't just have to be uploaded from Google Drive.
Exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head, though. Creating that interactivity is to me one of the most important pieces of all of this. Getting kids beyond just that static page is so much more important. So I agree.
We'll definitely see engagement improve when the kids can get interactive.
Agreed.
Exactly.
This looks like maybe a Google Classroom. I didn't get it all read before I threw it up here, but if you mark the handout for the student to fix, do you have to return the assignment in the classroom to let them know they have to finish it? So basically asking, I guess, if they need to fix something, do you have to return it to them?
I would return it just so the student is used to that workflow. And I would also add a private comment to the student if the fix or the edit is in Smart Learning Suite. Add the private comment in Google Classroom that says, hey, you need to go finish slide 4 in your Smart Learning Suite file. Because technically when you return it on Google, what it's returning is the Google Doc, not the Smart Learning Suite. So I know that's a little tricky, Denise. If you need any help, let me know.
And they won't necessarily know if you put a comment on that Smart Learning Suite handout for them. So yeah, definitely utilize those private comments to give a feedback of, hey, you need to go look at that file again.
Agreed. There's another one. Can we go back over to see what it looks like as a student? Do you still have that incognito open? I think you would actually have to like return it and everything to reaccess it, right?
No, I still have it open.
Okay, go ahead. So I'll put your screen back up. Go ahead.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like for a student. Remember, they need to click on that open with SLSO in the top. Do you know? Yeah, do you know, does that actually appear if they've never logged in to SLSO? Okay, perfect. That's what I wasn't sure.
So, and in the presentation, I did do it to where it was like a first time login. Yep. It'll say open with SLSO. Then they'll ask for their email. It just says open with Google. It'll say their district email. They just simply click on it and it puts them into the lesson. So here's the student's version. So they're able to play the videos, play the games. Here's the handout. So I can go back in my handout and I am able to edit it because I can see, oh, she wants me to complete it. Use my eraser to erase her marks. So I can go back in here and finish my lesson.
And so for the most part, you're not going to see the student end. And I know that's the hardest thing as a teacher. Is not knowing what your students see, because we want to guide them as easily as we can. There are ways you could do it if you're doing live Google Meets with your students. Like you could have a student share their screen and have them be the guinea pig and go through the classroom themselves and talk the student through clicking through where to click. But what this event is really big about, the whole point of this is that these are all self-paced. The goal of this is to show you that you don't need to be live with your students on this one, which I think that's the most powerful thing, because we know there are so many families with limited devices out there. And this is one way that you can post it on Monday and say, okay, I need it due by Wednesday. And the students have until that cutoff time to do their work. One thing we want to be mindful of, I just as an aside, I'll take your screen down now, Kaitlyn, so you can rejoin us. But one thing that I just want you to be mindful of as well, especially in secondary, some of our students have 6-7 classes, and a lot of teachers are making everything due on Friday. And that makes sense as a teacher. We post everything on Monday, right? And say, okay, you have all week to do it. But when we think about our middle schoolers and our high schoolers, especially, like, I know when I taught middle school, my kids were not organized, and I had a lot of procrastinators. I'm a procrastinator myself, self-professed. But you know, the problem is that now they have 6 or 7 classes worth of work, and they're procrastinating until Thursday night. And now it's all due. All assignments are due from all classes on Friday. So just try to keep in mind the workload that your students are dealing with throughout this remote learning. You know, we don't want to, you know, overwhelm them with work, but this is a great way to add that interactivity as well. I'm not seeing any other official questions. It looks like the smart group, you guys are taking awesome control of the chat and answering all kinds of things. So if there are any other, go ahead.
I think that also in the chat, they probably dropped a link to a video that does show the student view. It's a great thing to post on your Google Classroom if you are using Smart Learning Suite for the first time, just to post that video so students can see the step-by-step walkthrough. It's pretty simple and looks very similar, or it actually is a Palm Beach County student's view.
Awesome.
So it starts in the portal and walks them all the way through.
Awesome, thank you. That's awesome. So if I did see that posted earlier, if Laura or someone has that link to that specific student view, but that will also be as a resource on our website as well. Kind of wrapping things up, unless I see another question come by at the end, I just wanted to share some of the awesome things that we have planned for you guys. So first up, we have today, we still have another session left. This has been a long marathon day. But we have at 2:30 a HyperDoc section. This is HyperDocs Take 2 because we lost our presenter on the first one about 30 minutes in. So that's just really going to talk about leveling up your Google Docs. And then on Friday, we have a special treat. We have 3 teachers, one from each grade level, elementary, middle, and high, who are going to join us for a panel that are going to share what they've learned so far with us and share some maybe best practices of what's worked for them in the classroom. So that's going to be a great time. We're going to have a moderator and just ask some questions. And then on Friday afternoon or Friday morning at this same time slot, we're going to be doing the top 10 countdown of Google extensions or Chrome extensions. So that's going to be a great treat as well. In addition, at 2:30, we're going to have our Twitter chat, which is hashtag PBC Trailblazer Chat. Today's topic is obviously some more best practices for remote learning. If you've never done a Twitter chat, that does not take place here on YouTube, it actually takes place on Twitter. And so we post between 6 and 8 questions within 3:30 to 4:30. And all you do is you just go to our PBC Trailblazer Twitter account, and that will be the account that will tweet out the question. And then you just reply or retweet with your answer and share the love with everyone. And we all know what it is through the hashtag PBC Trailblazer Chat. There are direct links to those things on our website in the calendar as well. And I just wanted to share one last thing with you guys, that that we do have that help form still. So I know that Hillary and Kaitlyn have helped out with that form too. They are some of the people that are assisting on any question that you have. We're happy to help. If you need some training, if you need some walkthroughs, if you're grade level, if you're subject area, any group of people. I know Hillary and Kaitlyn have even done full schools where they're meeting with the entire school, sharing something. So just fill out that form and someone will get back to you shortly. And that looks like all of the questions in the chat. I'm not seeing anything, ladies. So if you just want to say a quick goodbye and let us out, and I'll let you guys say the last few words.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. It was a pleasure. And if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Thank you guys. We're here to help. Look forward to helping you out.